Hey everybody, how you doing? Good afternoon. Happy July 1st. My name is Kevin Ristow. For those of you who may not know me, I'm one of the vice presidents here at North American, vice president of Life Division. And welcome to the call. We have these calls every 2 weeks, which is awesome. We have special guests every time as well. So what I wanted to do today is I'm going to only be brief here, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our presenter and our guest, Wendy, and I'll do a brief introduction. But today I wanted to kind of take a different avenue. Instead of talking about life insurance and the what, the why, the how, all that, like we do every time, and I've had presenters in the past, I wanted to talk today, and I probably should have done this weeks ago, about goals. I think one of the most important part about sales or accomplishing anything is goals. And you got to have goals in order to have a blueprint and a marketing plan, and then tracking goals, developing, all that type thing. So Wendy Matkin is a manager and training of development at Del Tile, which is one of the largest tile companies actually in the world. And she trains agents to become managers to flourish and grow teams. And I thought today it would be a great idea for us, especially starting a new month. We're on the second half of the year right now, to just go ahead and go over some goals and how it could benefit us all. So I'm just going to go ahead. We got a lot of people on the call, which is awesome. If you have questions, go ahead and put it in the chat box. So I'm going to go ahead and let Wendy take it from here. And this will be recorded. So you can always go back, and then if you ever want Wendy's information, like her email and stuff like that, I can get that to you if you ever have a one-on-one, if you want to have a one-on-one or anything like that. So Wendy, I am going to hand it over to you.
Okay, thank you. What is it saying? Can y'all see the presentation?
Yes. No, there it is.
You're going to have to mute. Okay, hi y'all. It's nice to meet you. I am Wendy Matkin, like Kevin said, and I deal a lot with SMART goals. And one of the things that I do is make sure that we teach SMART goals at the beginning of the year, mid-year, and at the end of the year, so that people can stay on track. They can also look at the end of the year and be proud of what they were able to accomplish. And then at the beginning of the year, go in with clear ideas and goals in mind so that we are able to actually achieve what we want. But to get started, I want to give you a little background on SMART goals, because a lot of us have heard about SMART goals. Some of y'all may be familiar with SMART goals, but SMART goals came about in 1981 by a gentleman that was working for, I think George Doran was working for like a water management computer system software, I don't know, something. But he introduced SMART goals as a way, because when he tracked the criteria that he had, it actually improved the chances of accomplishing a goal. So now we're going to fast forward. And if any of y'all have ever taken a Blanchard course, he is one of the two co-creators of situational leadership, the 1 Minute Manager, Raving Fans. Ken Blanchard has authored a lot of foundational type of sales books and that kind of stuff. But he introduced STRAM goals, and all he did was actually change a couple of the letters within SMART to more focus on business goals. So that's what we're going to look at. So if you were to just Google SMART, we are not going to go with the standardized SMART analogy. We're going to go with STRAM, but we're still going to look at it as SMART. And there's a reason for this. But one of the things that I always talk about with all of my classes is that a goal without a plan is just a wish. And I use this example time and time again. If I said I wish I wanted to be the Queen of England, or my goal is to be the Queen of England, sorry, then that would entail a lot of stuff, right? I would have to first renounce my citizenship here or move to England, find a prince, probably either kill a princess or a queen in that case, in order to move up to make that a reality, right? So there has to be a plan. Otherwise, you're just wishing for more income. You're wishing for more customers. You're wishing to have more apps on the book. And what we want to do is not only give you a goal and a plan, but something that you'll actually achieve. So with SMART, we are going to look at specific, motivating, attainable, relevant, and trackable. And that's where they're slightly different. So let's dig in. And you need to be prepared to ask yourself a lot of questions. Can everybody hear me okay? If you'll give a thumbs up if you can hear me, I will try to talk a little louder. Too often I'm very, very loud. Okay. So one of the things about writing SMART goals is having this new mindset so that we get a new result. Maybe you've attempted to write goals in the past or have a vision board, a dream board, and hit some of those, didn't hit some of the other ones. This is about preparing yourself to really, I call it also data dump, right? You need to ask yourself a lot of questions. If you're helping others, you would ask your team members a lot of questions. And then we're going to keep consolidating down. So initially it will seem like a whole lot of information, but it's the more effort you put into it, the greater the chances that you'll actually achieve these things that you want to achieve. Okay, so we are going to start with specific. And we want to be thoughtful and specific about what you want to focus on and what you want to accomplish. Think of this really as the mission statement for your goal. And start with the who, what, when, where, why, and how of what you want to achieve. Oops, not letting. So the what is think about exactly what you're trying to accomplish and don't be afraid to get detailed. I find it very helpful to just have a piece of paper, you know, a spiral, and literally just start with the WWWWH. And that way you can write it all out. So the who is who's going to be involved to achieve this goal. And this is especially important if you're going to need people's help, if you're going to need a different department's help, if you're going to need a spouse's help, if you're going to need a marketing firm's help, any of that kind of stuff. The when, and you're going to get more specific under the trackable section as far as defining your SMART goals timeline. But this should at least give you a time frame of when you're going to want to achieve this particular goal. The why, and this is the reason for your goal. It's either because you want to make more money, you want a career advancement, you want to branch off and open a different office. It's really, we're going to dig into this even further in the motivating factors or section of it. But this initially, again, why do you want this goal? The where, and it may not always apply, especially if it's just a personal goal, but if there's a location or a relevant event, you would identify it here. Let's say you want to present at the next agent conference. Next August, you know, you could say it's in Dallas if you're not in Dallas or something like that. And then the how. This is where you need to really have a truth session with yourself. We're going to look at the related obstacles, requirements, and this question will come into play when we get to the A, which is it attainable? Because we need to address, it's okay to have obstacles. It's okay to have things that you're going to need. We just need to make a plan for it. So in some cases, maybe it's a new software. You would need to recognize that when you don't have that software, but that's going to be something that you will invest in, you'll have. And so then you could check it off in the attainable section. Are there any questions as far as the specific portion before I move to the next? Okay. So I believe that M is probably one of the most important letters in SMART goals for this version, because it does need to be motivating. It has to be a goal that excites you so that you'll want to complete it. If you're not excited or interested in it, and maybe many of y'all are like myself and you've been given a goal in the past, you're just not, your buy-in is not there, right? Or maybe you've been given a goal that was never attainable. You know, a bonus of 6 figures and yet nobody gets it. And then the next year when they roll out that bonus again, is that motivating? No. And we want to make sure that the motivation factor stays very, very high so that you actually hit these goals. So you need to determine for yourself, how is this motivating, and will this motivation sustain me when it actually gets tough? On to the attainable portion. This focuses on how important a goal is to you and what you can do to make it attainable by recognizing and addressing any obstacles, such as developing new skills or changing your attitude. So if it's a personal goal, maybe it's losing weight, you're going to have to change your attitude, and you need to be realistic if that's going to be easy or hard, or if you're going to be able to do that or not, because there's no point in setting a goal that you're going to fail at, because then it only adds to those internal gremlin voices that we have, which is, see, you failed, you knew you would, why do you even bother? And we always want to make sure that we're taming those inner gremlin voices. So think about what's needed to accomplish a goal, and if you have those tools or skills needed. If you don't currently possess those tools or skills, consider what it would take to gain those. And again, remember that goals are meant to inspire, and any goal that is set that is unattainable is only going to cause discouragement, and thus we're going to give up and not go for it. The relevance really focuses on the goal on being something that aligns with your broader business goals. So for example, if your goal is to implement a new CRM, right, your customer relationship management system, it should be something that's in alignment with your yearly business objectives, like increasing your communication with your customers or stacking coverages, making sure that you're hitting all of these things. Then you can show that, yes, it's relatable. I mean, it's relevant because it's absolutely necessary to actually hit these other larger goals that will have a bigger overall effect on my business. And also think about incentive programs. This is a good place to tie in things either from the carriers. Maybe they have trips to Europe or cruises, or if it's to be part of a president's club, things like that. These are really good ways to show that relevance, and to keep, also, again, it helps keep you motivated. The last part of SMART goals is that they need to be trackable. So you need to ask specific questions about the goal deadline and whether or not that can be accomplished within that time period. And then give yourself milestones. I also call them benchmarks a lot. So if it's going to take 3 months to complete, maybe you look at it in 6 weeks, or maybe you look at it each month. And if it's something that's going to take a year, you could break it down to quarters. You could break it down to 6 months. It just depends on what type of goal that is. But you need to put in some realistic benchmarks so that if things need to be altered in order for that to be achieved, it can be done before it becomes too late and thus unmotivating, right? Because again, if it's too late and it suddenly becomes unattainable, that negativity can seep in, and then we're very likely as humans to say, what's the point? I'm not going to achieve it anyways, right? Think of football games when they're down 42 points and the other team has to just keep going back out and keep trying, because we just don't give up. That's not what we want to do, and we don't want to say, well, it just doesn't matter, so why even try? Now, I'm going to give you guys a really simplified, very simplified version of putting this equation together for something that's probably realistic for many of us. We have somebody here, and what do you want to achieve this week? Well, I want to clean our garage. So specifically, explain what you want to accomplish. Well, I want to have the kids help me sort and put all the sports equipment into containers. Okay. If nobody were to go further than that, even by asking one question, we got a more specific answer. So now what motivates you about this goal? Well, we find out the true motivation is that they want to be able to fit a car in the garage. So now we're going to ask ourselves, is this attainable and realistic? Well, my kids have the week off from school for spring break, and this person has recovered from back surgery. So yes, right? In their mind, they're doing their little checklist. Relevant. Is it important and relevant? Yes, it's relevant because we need to park a car inside the garage. And then trackable. When would you want to accomplish this, and can you track it? And in this example, it's by Friday of the kids' spring break, and it has a hard due date. Now, can y'all see the difference in the very first example of clean the garage and where we broke out all the rest of it? Yeah, now we're seeing why. We're seeing that there's sports equipment. We're assuming because they've said that it's attainable, that they've already had the containers. But it's also important because when we look at attainable, we have to see that, were there other people involved? Well, yeah, now we're learning that the kids are going to be involved. So if the kids are going to be involved, this person needs to also make the goal motivating to them and explain why they too would want to join in on this goal and get it done. And that might be, well, so that you can see the sports equipment that's relevant, that's bad, or that we don't use and we donate. And by freeing up this stuff and having a cleaner garage, we're also going to be able to look at new sport equipment for you guys. And boom, now all of a sudden you have people that are working very hard to help you attain a goal that's important to you. So communication is also key in writing and developing, and also in accomplishing SMART goals. So let's take this a little further. We have some initial goals, and normally I cover 2. Today I'm going to cover 1, but these are very realistic goals that we also see a lot in business. I want to complete a project by the end of the year, or I want to improve my performance. They're very vague. They lack specifics, timelines, motivations, reality check. With the current wording, these 2 goals are very likely not to be achieved, and that's not what we want. So we are going to use the formula to create new and improved goals. In this case, we're going to go with the one where I want to improve my performance. So, and I call this the data dump. I also call it vomiting information, whichever you prefer. So remember, you just write it all out. Well, here we find out specifically that they received low marks for their ability to use PowerPoint. I'm going to read it in first person. I received low marks on my ability to use PowerPoint at my last performance review. Improving my skills requires that I learn how to use PowerPoint efficiently and practice using it by creating various presentations. I would like to be more proficient using PowerPoint in time for my next review in 6 months. So we're getting we've got the specifics. How is it motivating? Improving my PowerPoint skills is instrumental in moving forward in my career and receiving a better performance review. I enjoy my career and want to continue to grow within this company. In 6 months, I should be proficient in PowerPoint, ensuring it only occupies 25% of my workload instead of the nearly 40% of the time it occupies now. So already we're seeing that by having a lower performance review, they obviously like earning money. They like having a job. In order to keep that, they need to get their skills in line. Is it attainable? I can set aside each week time each week to watch PowerPoint tutorials and even enroll in an online class that can teach me new skills. I can also ask coworkers and my manager for PowerPoint tips. So again, in this person, they're doing checks and they're writing it out for themselves. This is not your final goal. So that's why I have it written like this, so that you can see you're writing it to yourself. Relevant. Working with PowerPoint is currently 25% of my job. So did anyone pick up what they're actually having to use right now instead of 25%? They're using, anyone in chat? 40%. So already with something that they're supposed to be doing for their job, it's taking 15% more of their working time to do something, which is why they got low performance reviews. So they let us know that they need to do it. They need to get better at creating it. By the time of my next review, I should be able to do it in a couple of hours and even create templates and things that my coworkers can use. And to track it, this person is saying I can track the tutorials that they would be taking each week online, and the online class will take 2 months to complete. So now let's see how we take all of the data dump into an actual SMART goal. And here we go. So instead of I want to improve my performance, the new goal would be to improve my PowerPoint skills and grow in my career. By taking online classes and reviewing tutorials, I'll improve my PowerPoint skills so that it only requires 25% of my work time. I will complete the 4 tutorials in my online PowerPoint course in 3 months. 1 tutorial per week for 4 weeks plus the 2-month class. And the deadline would be the next employee review in 6 months. Now that's very, very different from that initial, I want to improve my performance. By a show of hands, who believes that this person has a very high chance of achieving this SMART goal now? I see a couple hands raised. Very good. Once you go through, we're going to consolidate that down, and that's when you'll land with that one SMART goal. There is now, I showed you that early evolution of SMART goals, and really now SMART goals have expanded, and they can be called smarter. And that's because during that SMART goal process, once you've determined your SMART goals and you're working towards them, you may have to either during it, near the end, evaluate it and revise it, or at the very end of the year, you can always go back and evaluate it to see what worked and review it so that you have that reflection and adjustment so that you're able to reach that goal. So it's always okay if we have to deviate slightly, because you're backing it up again with thought process and steps in order to achieve that new revised version. This is a form. I can have Kevin send this to y'all later. I also have another single page worksheet that has all of the letters written down vertically so that you can then work your way and print one per goal that you would like to have. But here are some other examples of some SMART goals. Over the next 2 years, I will improve my sales job by improving my communication skills. To reach this goal, I will write down essential factors in my successful conversations with customers and define which approaches help me make a sale. Excuse me. The next one has to do with communication and presentations. Over the next 6 weeks, I will improve my communication and presentation skills to advance my career in our company. I will do this by speaking up at every weekly meeting. So some of these don't have to be earth-altering, life-shattering, type of goals. It can be If you're very introverted, just being able to speak up at each meeting, that incremental growth over the year would greatly improve somebody's communication and presentation skills. One that could be a very personal one: over the next 4 months, I will improve my quality of life by quitting smoking and replacing it with exercise. I will track my progress using a dedicated phone app. Or one for problem solving. In 3 months, I want to develop a comprehensive problem solving system by working closely with my mentor. I'll research best practices and learn strategies for breaking down complex problems. I have a few more. For leadership abilities, over the next 4 weeks, I will develop my leadership abilities by reading a new book on leadership every week, or one on mentor, or this one, which I've always liked, is over the next 6 weeks, I will become a better senior employee mentor or senior employee by improving my industry knowledge. To do this, I will complete a 6-week course and obtain a new qualification that's staying relevant in any of our industries. And that is it. That is how you are able to turn up your SMART goals. Hopefully this will help you. And like Kevin had said, that if any of y'all are interested in any of those handouts or help with writing those SMART goals, I would absolutely volunteer my time for that. And I thank you for.
Hello, everyone. Kevin again. I want to thank Wendy for being a guest and great information. I mean, I think sometimes we lose track of how important goals are. We lose our way throughout the year, and our goals are always something we can get back to, look at, revise if we have to. You need to do something with that. And one of the biggest things I found with new agents is, I think one of the biggest things with new agents is when I talk to them about a marketing plan or what they're trying to accomplish, they rarely have goals. And sometimes people really don't know how to set goals. And I think this SMART process works really well. Being specific, I mean, it's got to be your own goals. What exactly do you want to accomplish? Let's use life insurance, since we're on the life insurance call real quick as an example. Do you want to sell one a week, one a month? What exactly is your goal for life insurance? It's got to be detailed. That could be a specific number until you hit it, and then you can raise it. Does it motivate you? I mean, that to me means something that excites you. To me, if I can sell one life policy a week and I can make $1,200, that's over $52,000 in a year for selling one life insurance a week. Everybody needs life insurance. That excites me because that's an additional income stream. And if you get good enough and it excites you enough, you can raise it up to 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then it gets really exciting. Attainable. And that, to me, kind of goes along with the first two. I mean, we could put, we want to sell 10 a week, but is that attainable? Well, maybe it is, but you got to do something that you can achieve first and then raise the bar from there. Maybe one a week and then change it to 2 and go from there. But it has to be attainable. That way you don't lose interest. Relevant. Well, to me, relevant means how's it going to impact my business and my life and my income? Well, if I'm selling life insurance every week and every month, that's very relevant because that has a big impact on my income. And then finally, trackable. I mean, that's the easy one. I mean, whatever your goals are, you got to track it so you can put your results and hopefully one matches the other. If you're not hitting it, you can revise your plan a little bit. And if you are hitting it, then of course you can redo it. So anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed today's presentation. It will be recorded. And if you guys have any questions, any comments, you can always contact me direct. Kevin Rista, I am one of the vice presidents here at North American. Wendy's available as well. If you want to reach out to me and to get in touch with her, I can definitely do that as well for one-on-one and go from there. But definitely use this formula. It's easy. It's not complicated. If you haven't used it up to this point, just go ahead and take a little time after this call and write down your SMART goals. We are in the first day of the second half of this year, leading up to the big selling seasons. So the final thing I'll say with life insurance, everybody's a prospect. Offer life insurance. Every call to every prospect, every client, every time. If you need me, get in touch with me. Is there any other questions? Hang on, I see something in the chat box. Okay. So, all right, everybody have a great day. I appreciate it. And thanks for being on the call. Have a fantastic 4th of July. And we will be on the next call. We are not going to have a call 2 weeks from now because we will be at the agent conference. But if you need me in between then, let me know. Everybody have a great day.